What's up, everyone? Today, we're going to be looking at a few different news articles regarding the war on Iran and America. I don't want to really call it a war yet, but it looks like that's the direction that we're heading in. So the first one is a local news channel, and it's going to be talking about Trump supporters reacting to the attack on Iran. So let's get into what everybody thinks and what everybody is talking about in terms of the attack on Iran. We're going to look at what the right side has to say about it, what the left side has to say about it, and what we ultimately come to the conclusion with both of those sides. So let's get into what Trump supporters think about it first. All right here I have my computer up. The first one is Trump supporters react to Iran. So let's click in there.
There's a world of opportunity.
Okay, let's not listen to the ad, and then let's see.
Lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death.
A message from the president here at the Winter White House. WPTV's Kayla McDermott listening to people outside Mar-a-Lago and getting reaction from local lawmakers on both sides of the aisle.
Choosing to address the world from his Palm Beach estate, President Trump posted this 8-minute-long video to social media saying that for the second time in less than a year, the U.S. and Israel bombed Iran.
We're going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground.
A promise President Trump made in his speech announcing combat operations currently underway in Iran to prevent that country from getting nuclear weapons.
Promises made, promises kept.
I met Debbie Machia outside Mar-a-Lago. She supports the president's decision.
We know that Iran is a threat to the world. It's good news for everybody.
Machia knows retaliation is a possibility, as Iran has already fired missiles of its own.
There's always a fear.
Saturday's military action getting mixed reaction. The Florida Democratic Party says, in part, Trump's reckless actions have directly violated our Constitution and will lead to death of U.S. soldiers and civilians abroad. Donald Trump is sending our young people to war. Republican Congressman Brian Mast took to social media to support the president, stating they chanted death to America while seeking nuclear weapons. The days of America waiting to be attacked by Iran are over. People outside of Mar-a-Lago told me that they do want Iran to have a regime change without violence. And President Trump, in this video, told the Iranian army to lay down their weapons or else face certain death. In the newsroom, Kayla McDermott, WPTV News.
Lawmakers of both parties calling for a war powers vote in Congress and a detailed briefing. Florida Democratic Congresswoman Lois Frankel released this statement tonight saying, in part, this threat must be eliminated, and President Trump should come to Congress to consult members on his administration's objectives and plans moving forward.
All right, so basically it sounds like from that reaction to what happened, it sounds like the right is upholding the president's decision to bomb Iran. Okay, so let's see. Basically, what do we have? We have a regime that is extremist, apparently, and, from that video, we can gather that, they were a threat to not only America, but to Israel, one of our allies. And Trump clearly said, we're going to do something about it. We're not going to sit around and wait for you to make the first move, which, as we've seen in the video, that Trump supporters are all gung-ho about. They support the president's decision to act swiftly on a matter of national security. Okay, so that's where we stand with the right side of the fence, or the conservative side of the Trump supporters. Now we are going to try to find a take on the left side of the fence and see what people on the left are saying about the invasion of Iran. So I'm going to look for a video now to react to, hopefully along the lines of some type of news article, and we can then assess the situation ourselves.
Reacting.
So, Lindsay, the disparity between interpretation of this readout that we got on Capitol Hill from lawmakers to the briefing they received from Trump administration officials couldn't be bigger. We saw Republicans coming to the defense of the Trump administration, like Speaker Johnson, for example, saying that the imminent threat that was communicated by Secretary of State Marco Rubio to them warranted this response. He said, in part, if the United States didn't act in the way that it did, we would see a lot of Democrats, in his words, questioning the administration for the lack of action. But what Senator Mark Warner, the top intel Democrat, said, I think was quite instructive. He said he believes, based on what he's heard from the administration, there was no imminent threat to the United States of America. There was an imminent threat by the Iranians to Israel, and he believes it certainly didn't warrant this reaction. Take a listen to what lawmakers had to say.
Look, a whole lot of questions were asked. I found their answers completely and totally insufficient. In fact, at least to me, that briefing raised many more questions than it answered.
This was a defensive measure, a defensive operation. Because Israel was determined to act with or without the U.S., our commander-in-chief and the administration and the officials I just named had a very difficult decision to make.
Going into these meetings with Trump administration officials, lawmakers said that they were just trying to understand the scope of this, Lindsay, and I believe in the next couple of days they're going to get more understanding from the White House on that as well.
Okay, we have more than enough to, I guess, talk about in terms of what each side of the political party has to say about the attack. On one hand, you know, the right thought it was a warranted attack in regards to the safety of America. And on the other hand, the left is saying it wasn't a safety issue with America, but a safety issue with Israel. Now, this is where it gets a little, you know, polarized, because in order to make that assessment, you have to wonder what you have to have some sense of importance as to foreign affairs rather than your own country's affairs. So let's say you are against this attack on Iran for the reason being that it wasn't an imminent threat to America, and you are American, but it was an imminent threat to Israel. So why are we sending our forces to and supporting another country to act in a war that has nothing to do with the safety of our country? So that raises a great question, and I guess it just depends on what your opinion is in foreign affairs, in specific Israel and Iran. You know, where do I stand with it? I stand with, you know, peace. I just want peace for everyone involved. However we can achieve that and succeed in that world peace, I would be totally on board with. I look and want and pray and have faith that we can have peace in the Middle East and have peace in America and have peace in the world by the time, you know, my life cycle is up. And I'll keep pushing that. I'll keep putting that out in the universe. Regardless of what the right has to bring, or regardless of what the left has to bring, that's just who I am, what I believe in, and what I would like to see in, you know, my lifetime. Some sort of peace, because I also I want to travel the world. I want to see all these places. I don't want to be constrained and constricted to all of these rules and all of these, you know, politics and these negative war structures in place. I want to see the world. I want to see everything that, you know, God has given us, or the universe has created for us to explore. If you like this video, drop me a subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below what you think. Do you lean more on the right side of things? Do you lean more on the left side of things? Why? I'm sure we could all agree on the peace part, but if you don't, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.